In this video, I want to break down the exact steps that I took to remove myself from the day-to-day of my business as a solopreneur. In other words, I want to give you the step-by-step blueprint on how I went from wearing all of the hats in my business to creating systems and hiring the right people that inevitably allowed me to run the business smoothly without any or very little involvement from me. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder and kind of chief talking head guy over here at Square One Group, where really our mission is simple. It is to help solopreneurs grow and scale their business using systems. Now, the topic for today's video, it is near and dear to my heart, just simply because like many of you, I used to be doing everything from the marketing to customer service. It was handled all by me and I was burnt out. And I'll be honest, it took a little while, but eventually I finally realized that if I didn't make some serious changes, like this grind, this hustle mentality will not last forever. I will forever be a slave to my business. I will have no freedom and I will inevitably have no true growth. So I made a simple plan. It was to build systems and to hire strategically. And now my business runs without me having to really micromanage every single step of my process. And this exact same step-by-step process that I used is the exact same one that I'm now using for all of the founders I work with. And it's all designed to do one very specific goal. I want to help everyone I work with, including you watching this video now, take 1 whole month off out of your business completely disconnected. That means no emails, no Slack messages, no emergency fires to put out. And listen, this freedom, it gives you the space to actually think about your business from a super high level. And you can now start working on big vision instead of getting stuck in the daily grind. And what's most important, you can start living your life outside of work. So whether it's spending more time with your family, traveling, or just taking some time for yourself, this is the kind of freedom that transforms how you approach being a founder. And trust me, once you get a taste of this freedom, you'll never want to go back to being chained to your business again. So let's dive into the exact steps that I took to make this happen and how you can take the exact same framework and steal it for your business. Now, to start, I want to break down the 3 core problems that many solopreneurs face when trying to get themselves out of the daily grind. The first is overall overwhelm. It's essentially when you're a solopreneur, it seems like everything feels like your own responsibility. That this constant juggling of tasks, it leads to burnout, and it's impossible to truly scale your business when you're just spreading yourself too thin. The second big problem is missteps when hiring. I see a lot of founders think that the solution is to simply just hire someone and then pass off tasks. But if you don't have a clear process or you end up hiring the wrong person, you'll end up spending more time managing them than you would have just doing the work yourself. The third big problem, it's bottlenecking your team members. Even when you hire good people, the business can still come to a screeching halt if every decision has to be run through you. Listen, if you don't trust your team to make decisions and move projects forward without your input, you're creating a bottleneck. And guess what? That bottleneck, it's you. This inevitably keeps your business dependent on you being present and active 24/7. So my goal is to help you understand how to solve these 3 big problems by giving you actionable strategies. So first, I want to show you how to get more clarity on what's really essential for you to handle personally and what can be delegated or automated. This step is key to freeing up your time and your energy. Next, I want to show you how to create better connections to hire the right people so that you're not just filling roles, but actually bringing in A players who will elevate your business. We'll talk about building a recruitment process that attracts and retains talent who don't just wait for instructions, but actually take initiative. And then finally, I want to walk you through how to create champions out of your team members. These are people who actually take ownership, solve problems, and drive your business forward without needing you to micromanage. This is how you build a self-sustaining team that operates like a well-oiled machine, giving you the freedom to step back and really focus on scaling. Let's start by talking about clarity. See, getting clear on how to remove yourself from the daily grind requires 3 key steps. Step 1, it's to identify your escape velocity. Think of this as understanding the speed and force you need to break free from the day-to-day of your business. And here's the honest reality, the honest truth of things. You cannot have a 7-figure business when you're stuck working on $5 an hour tasks. The math just does not add up. So this means that you need to get brutally honest about the tasks that you're spending time on. Because if you're focused on low value work, you're never going to be able to hit this big revenue number that you're aiming for. The next part of this is that we need to put a deadline on your calendar. Set a target for when you'll reach your escape velocity. Typically, I like to say it's 1 year away from the day that you commit to stepping away from your business. And here's a little bit of a pro tip. To create some urgency, pick a vacation destination that you have really wanted to go to, and then mark it off on your calendar and block off the entire month. Also, make sure that your team knows about this big 1 month vacation and your expectations that you're planning to take the month off completely disconnected. Knowing that you have a hard deadline gives you that extra little push to make things happen faster. Which leads to step 2, and that is to build a business operating system or a boss. Listen, your business needs a boss, and it should not be you. This system will give your team clarity on what they need to do to operate without waiting for input from you. And the key here is to just simply create playbooks for the core functions of your business. There's really just 3: marketing, sales, and fulfillment. And these 3 playbooks will act as a roadmap for your team, laying out exactly what needs to be done and how to do it, even when you're not around. Which leads us to step 3, which is all about implementing the definitions of done. Now, instead of relying on creating these lengthy documents for your standard operating procedures or your SOPs, instead, what I recommend you do is you create what I call DODs or definitions of done. These are short, actionable video guides that are typically 5 minutes or less that live within your playbooks. They're clear, they're concise, and they show the owner of each task within a playbook exactly what done looks like and when it needs to be done. And this quickly and easily removes you as the bottleneck of your business and empowers your team to actually take full ownership of their responsibilities. Okay, so now that we've got some clarity, the next step is that we need to systemize connections, specifically your recruitment and hiring process. I want to start off by having some real talk with you. One of the biggest frustrations when hiring is dealing with unqualified spam applicants. These are people who just mass apply to every posting they see without even actually reading the job description. And if you've ever put up an ad before, you know exactly how much time it wastes to have to sift through all of these unqualified applicants. So the question then becomes, how do we fix that? That actually leads us to step 4. The solution is simple. It is to add Easter eggs to your application process. These are small, intentional steps or questions that filter out the people that are just not paying attention. For example, I ask applicants to include a specific word or phrase in their cover letter. And if they don't follow these simple instructions, typically I don't even bother reading the application. This method instantly cuts through the noise and helps you focus specifically on people who are actually paying attention and taking your job application, seriously. The next step, step 5, is all about systematizing your interview process. And I use a system that I call the 50-50 interview framework. It's designed to quickly evaluate a candidate in about 30 minutes, maybe even less. And the way the process is broken down, it's really split up into 2 different parts. The first part, the first 50%, is me asking them questions, typical interview stuff. And then the second half is where I ask them to interview me. Now, with some simple targeted prompts, you're going to easily weed out the people who don't align with your needs or your culture, and easily also identify the A players who are going to take your business to really that next level that you're going for. Finally, once you've identified your ideal candidate, the next step, step 6, is to seamlessly onboard them. And I do this through my process that I call the assembly line onboarding. From the moment they accept the job, everything should flow automatically. From sending the offer letter to setting up accounts and tools to giving them the onboarding training or the videos that you have prepped. The bottom line here, and my main focus here, is speed and efficiency. You don't want to spend days or weeks getting a new hire up to speed. With a systematized onboarding process, you can get them integrated into your team and contributing quickly, which really means that you don't have to micromanage their entire education process, their entire on-ramp process. Hey, if you found value in this video so far, really appreciate it if you click that like button, subscribe button, the bell icon, all that good stuff. Thank you so much in advance. All right, now that we've systematized your connection process, now let's talk about how to turn your team members into champions of your business. This starts with what I call a stress test. You need to see if your hires can actually perform when it matters and not just be aces on the interview. That's where my training process, I call it Hell Week. That's where this comes in. Yes, it is as intense as it sounds. It is a week-long, role-specific training designed to push these new applicants and really weed out anyone who might have sounded great in the interview, but can't actually do the work. And the key within Hell Week is that I actually set up tripwires. Now, these are specific tasks or challenges that act as red flags. And if a new team member triggers one of these, it's an easy way for me to tell that they're just not going to cut it and I'm going to let them go. It's by far the fastest and no nonsense way to make sure that only the right people stay on board. And if not, you can turn them away quickly. Now, once they pass this step, the next step is that we need to give them full ownership of their role. And we do this by setting up a few key metrics that they're going to be 100% responsible for. Their job is to update these metrics daily and feed the results into essentially a CEO dashboard that I can review weekly. This way I can monitor performance just looking at one simple document. Actually, it's a Google Sheet. And if this person is good at what they do, they're going to have no problem hitting their KPIs consistently. Finally, let's talk about managing your A players. You see, once you find the right people, you're not just going to leave them hanging and let them run free. You're going to have to give them additional tools to succeed. Now, this could mean offering continuing education, or if they fall short, a PIP. And a PIP stands for a performance improvement plan. So my process is that I schedule regular check-ins with my team members every single month. We meet, we align on the vision. We also get very clear on what their goals are, because the bottom line is most team members, they're not going to stick around just because you're going to pay them a lot of money. You got to give them an overarching goal to strive for, to reach for, and then help them get towards that goal as quickly as possible. And then through this process, what you'll be able to find out very quickly is that your A team members will stick around for longer. There's going to be more continuity, and you're going to have a lot more trust in letting go of your business. Now, having said all that, if you're looking to essentially take 1 month off, completely disconnected from your business, and you're looking for some help setting up this entire system, hey, right under this video, there's a link to a quick 10-minute brainstorm session. We're taking on cohorts this month. Go ahead and block off some time. It'll only be a quick 10-minute chat. Let's see if we can help you out. But aside from that, I'll see you on the next video.